Well, there's a car. Some of you may recognise this car park, some may not. This is the first time I have been here since I don't know when actually. I had my little tinny here once, and prior to that, pretty sure it was the Bass Nation event. White spinnerbait. It got more bites than anything. Literally straight off the boat ramp. There you can see massive thermocline. It's coffee. Find some bass. And we're golden. Oh no, I have a couple of that colour. Okay. Don't stress. I ask. I was just fishing the bank and I'm like, I wonder if they're on the trees. Oh, it's put me in a tree. Oh, that's one. Oh my god. Oh my. Okay, before we go too far, let me give you a quick history lesson, I guess. So in 2005, I got my first ever Australian bass. A buddy of mine convinced me to go fishing inland, which I didn't really want to do being a saltwater fisher. Later in 2005, fished my first bass tournament, and in 2006 I won my first bass tournament. Basically from then, being a competitive person, I was hooked on the tournament scene. That's all I was interested in. I did some bream, I did some bass, I did some barramundi. From 2012 to 2019, I fished for bass exclusively, or should I say at the exclusivity of any other fish species. I rarely chased anything other bass in those years. COVID happened, stopped my USA ambitions and shut down a few Aussie tournaments and stuff, and the rest is history. So in saying that, I am now on Boondooma Dam, Lake Boondooma, I should say. Have not been here for a very long time, and I have never seen the lake this high. I have never fished the lake when it's this high ever. In short, my goal is to catch some fish, more than likely deep to start with, then shallow later on, but deep is easier to find and understand for me. So it is April, we've had some horrible weather. It's not the best time to chase bass. It's cooling, lots of transition going on, the water temp is dropping, bait is slowing down, lots of things are happening in an impoundment this time of year. So I'm sort of going to be trying to find straight away where the thermocline is, are the fish sitting above it or below it, and then looking respectively in those areas where that depth of water is consistent. So right now where I'm sitting, for example, literally straight off the boat ramp, there you can see massive thermocline, and there are some fish above it, but a lot of fish around that area. So that's 30 feet, some fish at 20. So literally floated off the boat ramp, and in those couple of minutes I can now see a few more fish sitting at sort of 17, 20, 25. So more fish are above that thermocline than below. So we will start around there. Let's go. So that is literally the first point I've pulled up on as I drove up the lake. So they're not very big fish, you can see on here, but there is some bass there, a lot of bait, but already that tells me, like going from these fish, they want to be in that sort of late 20s depth. That is just bait, but there was some bass there. So I'll go back out off that drop off and see what we can't find. Okay. This should be game on. Should be. First cast into them. Made it to the bottom, unfortunately. And made it back. It's definitely good fish. Very flat lining though. Try a cast out that way. That's crazy. Shouldn't have even made it to the bottom. Okay. I think they're into spoons today. Well, they were out the front. So let's see. Alright, new spoon. Got 10 minutes to produce fish and then we're going to a bank. Well, apologies for that big bang. Well, I think I have failed. Sun is setting and I still haven't caught a bass, and it's windy as, which wind is fine because this dam's pretty long and narrow. Not much waves, but can't find much worth looking at. I found the odd one up ledges and they're just not showing up like they should. And I literally have lures in every cup holder at the moment because anything I have found half decent, I have thrown everything at them. So right now, for this last little bit of light, I'm going to try and hit some rock walls with some jerk baits and some spinner baits for some resident non-schooling fish. So there's no weed in here at the moment because of the recent rise. Hitting weed beds like I wanted to is definitely off. And all I'm left with now is some rocky points. Well, time for bed. Braid is there, dinner is packed up, and the bed is ready. This thing is literally the best. Massive. Well, good morning. I'm sure this is very grainy because it is still very dark. The sun is nowhere near up yet. Time to pack up the house and breakfast on the lake, eh? Let's go. Well, it's not up yet, but there is a glow for the sun and there's a glow from the sounder because I'm on the water. So 2 mines. I really want to catch them off the bank, but at the same time I don't want to be attempting to catch them off the bank if they're not going to bite, because it's just a waste of time, because that's what I want to catch them on. So I think to start with I'm going to go where I found that little patch yesterday afternoon, see what's around there, and I'll move to the banks if they don't bite. Time to make a coffee. Struggling out here without a coffee. This thing is the best thing ever. Whew. Good to go. Ooh, yeah. Now the day can start properly. Have this coffee, find some bass, and we're golden. hunt for bass continues. I never would have imagined that it would be this hard here. It's normally one of my favourite dams, but we are up Stewart Arm now, and I am going to give my head and sounders a break and just work some banks. I try spinner baits, jerk baits, because it is A, pretty productive normally, and B, so much fun. Banks with a little bit of point of difference, so some with a bit of rocks on them. This is a main point as well, like a junction in the river. This is always a good thing, and the wind's blowing overhead, which is also good for me. That on the drop. What was that? I ask. Up the Stewart, fishing lipless, steep rock walls, bit of timber, looks the part, doesn't feel right being in a schooling dam, being up here like this, but try something a bit more subtle. Probably my favourite way to catch bass. If it's working. Obviously not when it's not working. Terrible cast. I've hooked something on the jerk bait, but it is it's a yellow belly, I reckon. It's heavy and not fighting. Oh, it's tangled. Oh, it's put me in a tree. Oh, you're kidding me. I hooked something, swam straight out, and he put me in a tree. And this jerk bait is obviously stuck to the side of his head because it's pinned on the branch. Wow. How deep did he go? He's deep. And that is proper stuck. No lure pole. No, nothing. Oh. Well, that's kind of sad. I have no idea what that was. It got heavier as it got closer to the boat, and then decided it wanted to fight and buried me straight in a tree. At first I would have said it's a yellow belly because it wasn't doing any big runs, but to bury me straight in a tree, call it for a bass. Don't know. The one sad little factor is that's the only colour of that lure that I had, which I like that colour. And the other one is the first bite I've had, proper bite, in ages, since I've been here. And I'll let it put me in a tree. Tell you what, the next time I won't be putting me in no tree. Oh no, I have a couple of that colour. Okay, don't stress. We are good. I knew it was one of them. Why? Oh, I didn't have the camera on because it was the worst hit ever. But look, we have caught ourselves a bass very awkwardly. Hey buddy. Look at that. It's mega. Butler spot for the smallest bass. See you, buddy. Put a jerkbait in there and see what happens. Way up the tree. Oh, that's awesome. What a rock star. Let's try again. Very good cast. I was just fishing the bank and I'm like, I wonder if they're on the trees. First cast. Didn't even have a GoPro on. Well, maybe have a pattern. And he ate it whole too. See, he's on the first hook, not the stinger. That's a very good sign. He's legal, but he's little. That was just out of that little tree right there. Hardly even sunk it as well. Branch. It's interesting. I'd like to do it again. What is that? No. Again. Never seen so many of these guys. Main hook as well. What's going on? That was a better hit. It's a bass. It's a bass. Yes, it's a bass. The crowd goes wild. Get it in the boat. Oh, yes. That's a bass. Oh, just on the stinger too, so he wasn't that keen. Just on the stinger. Nice one. Well, we got it done, eh? Spinnerbait, white spinnerbait. It is always fun to throw. Like, so easy. Basically, switch your brain off when throwing this thing. You know, you're just putting it wherever you want. Definitely not a huge bass by anyone's standards, but quality. Chunky little keeper. He's be over a kilo, just high 30s, but he's made my day, believe it or not. Of all the fish, all the bass I have caught, can you believe that this little chunk has made my day? That is crazy. I have something. It's very, very small. Don't think it's more. Yep, I reckon it's a bass. It is a bass. Wow. Very, very small, but it is a bass. I won again for the world's second smallest fish. Don't even know if it's a bass. Yes, it's a bass. No, it's not. It is a yellow belly. Shut up. They literally just put this fella in there. Oh my god. Look at it. Just released. Oh, that's fish. Oh. One fell off, I had two. Had two, eh? Wow. I think officially I found some biting bass, but I found the smallest bass in the lake. Oh, this one. I think it's time to go. Well, I found some biting bass, albeit very, very, very small. Look at that. Wow, buddy. Alright, I'm out of here. So I guess there was sort of a pattern in the end. White spinnerbait. It got more bites than anything. It's been a pleasure casting this on the Tranx 150 and the Poison Adrena 173 MH. That thing, I've put it wherever I want, every single cast. Perfect. So the main pattern, I guess, every fish that I've had a hit from, that one that bricked me, the little ones that I landed, and the couple of hits I had have all been basically in this first, I guess you call it 200 meters of the start of the timber as you go up the Stewart. So a couple off banks, majority off timber or a little bit deeper water. That last big one was from, I guess you can call it a bank, but the timber stretched but that timber was stretched right out into the main section of the river in like 30 foot of water, and I caught him off the end of it. But you will notice the thickness and quality of that fish compared to the other fish, and the fact that it was pinned just with the stinger in its nose, didn't eat it like the other ones did. So it's a schooling fish, probably with a whole bunch of other fish which I am unable to or lack the time to find. But you can tell the difference with the quality of a healthy active fish versus those other ones, very skinny and very tight to structure. So probably not on to the bony brim school as much as that big guy was. It has been a tough, I guess it's a full day. I had yesterday afternoon, it's lunchtime now, so this morning 3 fish, bricked once, one decent one, and close out on that fish. It was a grind, but if anything, I guess you can see that I struggle as well, just like everybody else, and I guess the processes of what I went through to be able to find a fish.